executive officer of the Environmental Protection Agency has been recounting events that led to the attack on her entourage and subsequent accident involving the media team. Speaking on Ghana Tonight, Professor Nanama Brown Kluche said intelligence from Accra encouraged the team to abandon the exercise to close down some champagne manufacturing shops in the enclave.
To close down some other shops. On our way near Obuasi, we saw people on the ground, the Galamsey happening on the ground. So we decided to have a look at what they were doing. When we stopped and walked into the area, in fact, where they actually mining, they have access routes, so we had to stop by the roadside and walk to the ground, the field where they are mining. So as we were going closer, they were running away, and they did, all of them left by the time we got there. So we looked around what we could pick, we did pick. Whilst leaving, we saw that there were actually more of the excavators, 3 of the excavators that is inside a river body.
Inside?
So, within river body. So in fact, they had mined in the river body and blocked the river in such a way that it has taken different tributaries around the area and flooded some places. It's messy. It was really a bad situation. So we actually went to the car and used another route to the place. And whilst there, the people also ran. We called them to come, and then just before we could even have a conversation, they had sent news around, and so we saw built men, a number of them came with guns. We had the military with us anyway, and the national security also were with us. But then we saw that we couldn't exchange fire, so we could not fight them. So we had to run for our lives. So in the course of we running, speeding on the road, we encountered this accident. So one of the cars, which had some EPA staff and some of the journalists, had a head-on collision with a truck that is actually carrying some pipes for Galamsey, these Galamsey operations. Some of them were dressed in black, like complete black from top to down. And some of them were wearing vests like this with CID written at the back. We asked them, in fact, the soldiers, the national security men, asked them of their ID card and stuff like that. So it was becoming confrontational. And then we had to leave because we couldn't, they said they cannot overpower them, so we had to leave. They had their arms, but we didn't. Of course, EPA doesn't. We didn't have, so we had to run. Whilst they were having the confrontation, we got intel. So I got a phone call from Accra that we should leave immediately where we are, and that even the route we plan to take, we should not use it again, and we should not return on the same route we came from Kumasi to Obuasi. So we had to use another route altogether, much longer through central region, through western region, and then back to Kumasi. But just before we reached Kumasi is when we had a head-on collision.
Let's have a quick chat with our Ashanti region correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar, who himself came under attack while traveling with the EPA. Ibrahim, first off, how are you doing? Well, Ibrahim, if you can hear me, I'm asking how you're doing.
Well, Kevin, for now, I'll say I'm doing better than yesterday. Just having some minor chest pains, but unfortunately, among those of us who were detained at the hospital, I have been discharged. The others are still receiving medical treatment, and the doctors want to monitor their situation before they take further decisions on what to do with.
Ibrahim, what happened to you?
So, Kemini, the Environmental Protection Agency officials were in Kumasi on Wednesday to conduct an operation. So it's in the fight against illegal mining, but they wanted to take a different dimension. So the initial plan was that they are going to arrest and close shops that are selling mining equipment without license, these champagne machines and other things, because these are the things that are mostly used at the illegal mining site. So on Wednesday, we started with the operation, arrested some people, closed down 19 shops. Then on Thursday, which was yesterday, we decided to continue with the operation. So when we got to Obuasi Junction, we decided to split in two. Our team moved ahead. But on our way to where they are selling these items, we then saw some illegal miners mining within water body. And the officials, together with the media, decided that we will go and see whatever activity that they are undertaking there. When we got there, some of them left the scene, others too were around. So we decided to seize the items there or the equipment. And gradually, some of them started massing up before we realized they have taken over us, they have surrounded us, and tempers were flaring. They were saying they will not allow us to move an inch, and this is what they have been doing to earn livelihood, and for that matter, we should leave. Then others also started throwing stones. So we had to retreat and be able to protect ourselves. So we all joined our vehicles, they were throwing stones, and we left. So instead of returning to use the Obuasi route to Kumasi, we rather had to go and use a longer route, which was we had to pass through Central Region to Western North, back to the BNE, then to Kumasi. And that was when, because the vehicle was also at a top speed, and we didn't know whether they were chasing us. We had intel that they will ambush us. So we were on the top speed, and unfortunately, our driver veered off his lane, joined the other lane. Then there was another oncoming truck that collided with ours. So that was how come we were involved in an accident.
I see. Ibrahim, how many other journalists were injured in this incident?
So we were 7 in the vehicle, 5 journalists. But as I speak to you, the one who was in critical condition, he is a multimedia cameraman. He was transferred to Konfanochi Teaching Hospital yesterday, and he is being operated on. He had his right thigh fractured, and also some legs, the bones fractured. So as we speak, they are conducting a surgery on him, and we are hoping that everything will be successful. For those of us who are at the Afari Community Hospital, we are all in very stable condition. But among the 4 of us, I'm the one who has been discharged. The other 3 are still being monitored by the medical officers to ensure that they are safe and out of danger before they also be discharged.
Ibrahim, reflecting on this incident that led to the accident, right? How does it make you feel as a journalist?
Well, I mean, it's quite traumatic, especially when the miners surrounded us and they started tossing stones. But for us as journalists, I believe that this wouldn't deter us from still talking about illegal mining, because if we decide not to talk about it and they end up polluting our water bodies and the environment, we will still have to die one way or the other. So it's quite traumatic, because I can tell you, a colleague with Channel 1, as we speak, she's still traumatized. She's not herself. She's not able to do any major activity. So you could see the level of trauma, but we will still hold the fort and make sure that we'll all try to play our role in the fight against illegal mining.
Ibrahim, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. Ibrahim Abubakar is our Ashanti region correspondent. He's one of 5 journalists who were involved in the accident. Prior to that, they were victims to attack in Afari in the Ashanti region because they traveled with the EPA to check Galamsey or clamp down on Galamsey in that community. Let's stay on this subject. Senyor Hosi is a member of the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey. He joins us via Zoom for a quick chat on this. Senyor, this incident, what does it tell us?
It's a very depressing story. It tells us that we are losing our country day by day. Our statehood is at risk. It's not just our environmental bodies that are at risk. If officers of the state, appointees of government, representing His Excellency the President, representing the Commander-in-Chief of this country, cannot even access parts of this country under his directive, because those places have now been taken over by effectively militias and are taking illegal and irresponsible activities. I think this thing has just gone beyond normal. It's not just an everyday matter to resolve. And people should stop talking about jobs. It's not a job problem. Let's get it clear. Galamsey are making 3,000 to 10,000 cedis a week. Those boys in the pit. Tell me how many jobs in Ghana, white-collar jobs, blue-collar jobs. Tell me how many of them can actually earn 3,000 to 10,000 cedis a week. How many people in your company earn 3,000 cedis a week? Easily that's somebody's monthly salary, if not 2 months' salary. So they don't have an incentive to just stop because they don't have a job. That's not true. They are destroying farms that created jobs, that created livelihoods, that sustained life responsibly to do this. And now they are telling His Excellency the President that he hasn't got the right, or he's not going to be allowed to access parts of the country. Your Excellency, your authority is being brought into question. Your mandate as the absolute custodian and exerciser of the authority around of the borders of Ghana is being brought into question. You now are a president minus that place. You are now a president minus places like dollar power. So you are not even the president fully of Ghana anymore. Ghana needs you. Ghana needs you to defend its territories. Ghana needs you to defend the future of its children. This cannot be allowed to stand. It must be dealt with the ruthlessness required. We recommended to His Excellency the President a state of emergency to give him the powers as he would desire or as he would believe he requires. But he never did. Our understanding is that he knows things better than us because he has more security information than us. But this is what we are seeing. The Galamsey are saying,
First time we are seeing armed men chase out officials of the government.
How?
Yes.
How? And look, I must celebrate Nanama. I must celebrate her. Amongst government, she who are the ones who give us practically the most hope. Honestly, what she's been daring to say, even saying things contrary to government central position. She's been speaking and working as a professional, and I respect the president for respecting her position. Nanama, don't stop. Posterity will judge you right.
Indeed.
Look at this young woman. Our mates. She's out there putting her life.
Indeed.
Her family's life at risk.
Senor, we've seen similar attacks also on Hannah Bissio in the past. We've seen similar attacks on police personnel also in the past. What should be the response from government after this attack?
Kevin, we can't behave like we are a stateless state. We can't behave as if we are some banana republic. We are not. Our president, by this morning, they're asking at that place that any media stock. Because what is at risk is the state itself. If I'm president of Ghana, Ghana is at risk, and you want me to be sleeping? People are saying that as president, John Mahama cannot even access places. That when he sends his soldiers and he sends his EPA boss herself, not one of the officers or directors, there's his EPA boss herself is the Obuasi of Surono. Then what do you want to fear? Soldier can we are not scared of soldiers anymore. We never respect them anymore. We should know that we are plunging this country step by step into chaos. We are losing the country piece by piece. And it needs ruthlessness. It needs absolute power. It needs a certain kind of force to reorient the thinking of the people there. When people are seeing 3,000 and 10,000 cedis a week, you can never make sense to them. GSS graduates are making 3,000 to 10,000 cedis a week. You can't make sense to them. You can only force them to start doing what is right. So stop trying to manage this thing with kids' gloves. You're not a president who is running for re-election. I was really proud of what he did this week. When he went out there, he made sure that this man was the MP who interfered with the 9 months operation was arraigned before court. Can you imagine? Colonel Bua heading what the president suggests to us is the most important mission in the interest of this state. He himself was practically mobbed. He says that his life was saved and he was dead by grace. That's what a soldier is saying. Meaning his mandate, his power, his people could not even stand the heat there.
Very
because
well
people are rising against the state. And we are here having a conversation. We shouldn't be having a conversation, Kemini. We should be taking action.
Very well, Senor.
That place, the chief, everybody there. Oh God. I don't know, John Mama. This father for all business, you don't do father for nonsense. It's not, this is not part. This one is not part. You are losing this country.
Senor, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you so much for talking to us.